Killed Bambi was supposed to be the Sex Pistols' first feature film. It was planned as a way to market the band in the United States and to promote their upcoming studio album, Nevermind the Bollocks. The movie was scheduled to begin filming in the fall of 1977 in preparation for a release date in the spring of 1978. The band's manager, Malcolm McLaren, said about the Sex Pistols, "The Sex Pistols are not a music group. They play music and they write songs, but they're more of a social event. With the film, we can demonstrate very clearly the whole social condition the band came out of and deliver it in its pure and undiluted form to everyone outside of the United Kingdom." After kicking around several ideas, the majority of the band decided to make a punk rock, Hard Day's Night type of movie that was going to be directed and written by the duo of Russ Meyer and Roger Ebert. According to John Lydon, he tried to get Graham Chapman originally to make the film while discussing potential filmmakers early in pre-production, but after a brief meeting with Malcolm McLaren, the idea was squashed. Lydon didn't like Meyer because he felt that he was a creep. The screenwriter, Roger Ebert, knew nothing about the Sex Pistols and never heard of their music, collaborated with Malcolm McLaren on creating a coherent script by using a bunch of wild ideas that were tossed about in tow, along with input from the director. One of Russ Meyer's proteges was a 31-year-old scriptwriter and filmmaker, Renee Alder, who also collaborated on the script. He even wrote a version of it that the director quickly tossed out. Malcolm and Renee, however, became fast friends. The film was going to be a male Americanized version of the last collaboration that Myers and Ebert created a few years earlier, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, but taking place in England. Alder's and McLaren's script treatment that was rejected by Meyer was a dark comedic docudrama that followed the semi-historical rise and fall of the Sex Pistols. But Meyer wanted to make a sex-fueled B-movie. After several rewrites, the script, which was originally titled Anarchy in the UK, was now called Who Killed Bambi, which chronicled the exploits of a rich, world-famous rock star named BJ, managed by his dollar-sign scene manager, P.T. Proby, who decided to take the Sex Pistols under his wing, dangling fame and fortune in front of the band, while BJ decided to ride their coattails to prolong his own fading musical career. The movie was going to open up with the shady BJ murdering a fawn in the British countryside. A young farm girl finds the dead animal while BJ drives off, and the girl cries, "Who killed Bambi?" Hence the film's title. The small-budget film production was approved by 20th Century Fox's studio executive Alan Ladd Jr. after McLaren's lawyers negotiated with the studio, and the film was ready to start production. Right before filming, however, Meyer and Ebert wrote another revision of the shooting script. Russ Meyer flew out to England and spent time with the band members before filming to get to know them. When he told Steve Jones and Paul Cook that they weren't making an ordinary rock and roll movie, but a Russ Meyer one, they got all excited and were on board 100%. Sid Vicious wasn't too thrilled about making the movie until he found out that Maureen Faithfull was going to play his mother and they were going to have a taboo relationship. He was thrilled, but he tried to have his girlfriend, Nancy Spurgeon, play the role, which was quickly nixed by Meyer, along with the scene of them shooting up on camera. Johnny Rotten and Russ Meyer, however, did not get along, and Rotten did his best to try and ruin the film's production. He viewed Meyer as an old pervert, and would tell anyone who would listen that this film is not going to happen. Not going to happen. McLaren spent thousands of dollars having the sets built, the shooting script lined up, and he paid part of Russ Meyer's salary in cash, but the two constantly butted heads over the vision of the film that hadn't even been shot yet. Due to some contracts not being finalized, along with some secondhand thoughts about the content of the final script from Fox executives, pushed the filming back into mid-October. During this downtime, McLaren tried to secure more funds from the executive producers of the film, while Meyer tried to get Rotten and Vicious on the same page with the eager Cook and Jones. Filming finally began in mid-October, and the opening scene of BJ murdering a fawn in the British countryside was filmed, but after 3 days of production, the money for the film was cut off prematurely. ending the movie's production. The low-budget film production's projected costs were going to go over the £150,000 that 20th Century Fox allocated and estimated that they decided just to pay off McLaren and company to avoid a huge financial loss was the official reason why production was canceled. The unofficial reason was that it was Princess Grace of Monaco who decided to nix the film. She was one of the studio's board members, and when Hollywood gossip got around how 20th Century Fox was bankrolling a low-budget production featuring the Sex Pistols that was being directed by Russ Meyer, along with a script that was filled with taboo subject matter dealing with incest, drug use, and hardcore sex, reached her ears, she put a kibosh on it. Despite the rumors about Princess Grace getting the film canceled, Russ Meyer blamed Malcolm McLaren. He said, "He just spent too much money. I can't really tell you for sure because I don't know. Sounds weird, but when you've always been your own boss, knowing exactly where every dollar is going to go and where it comes from, and then you're put in the position of just being the so-called artistic control and not being aware of what the financial circumstances are. Well, if everything goes out from under you, what can he say? You can only conclude that there was some mismanagement." But Malcolm McLaren just got into water way over his head. The sad thing is that this film we might have made could have really launched them on an international level. Renee Alder and Malcolm McLaren tried to keep the film project going without Meyer's help. Alder went around Hollywood trying to drum up support and find potential directors and producers. But when Russ Meyer found out about it, he ended their friendship. Despite this setback, Malcolm continued in his quest to make a movie about his Sex Pistols. I hope you have enjoyed this episode of Cuppy's Music Curios. My name is Cuppy, and I hope to see you soon. Cheerio!